Hallelujah. 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 He's worthy to be praised. This is the day that Yah has made. Not only is this the day that Yah has made, this is the feast day that he has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. If we're happy, we're going to rejoice. If we're sad, we're going to rejoice. If the people have ticked you off to the up degree, we're going to still rejoice. We're going to rejoice in Yah because Yah makes everything right. At the end of the night, everything's going to be right if you're worshiping Yah in spirit and in truth. Hallelujah. 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 We're going to start off with a word of song, a prayer, and prepare ourselves for our hearts for the visitation of Yah. This is the Day of Atonement, a day to get a self-inspection. Let a man examine himself, 2 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 5, I believe it is. Let a man examine himself to see if he's in the faith, see where he lines up with Yah, or whether you're lining up on the righteous side or you're lining up on the unrighteous side. Hallelujah. So let's pray real quick while we're still all standing. Abba Father, we come before you. Thank you. Yes. We worship you in spirit and in truth, Yah. Forgive us of our sins, our debt, the people that we've wronged. Allow us to teach us to walk circumspectly, Lord, to face you in the midst of our storms, in the midst of our trials, in the midst of our tribulations. Because we're living in a day and a time where the trials and the tribulations will hit us just like Job's life, day after day, minute by minute. And we have to be mindful that no matter what comes our way, that we will not turn our back from you. We will be like Job when his wife said, "We'll just curse Yah and die." He said, "No. For as for me, Yah has brought me into this world, and Yah will take me out. Yah was with me when I had a lot. Yah was with me when I have a little. Blessed be the name of Yah, always and forever." So we praise you, Yah. We bless your name. Thank you, Yah, for the Day of Atonement. Thank you that you are allowing us to have one more time to gather, to come together, to begin a feast day in the midst of our fall feast. This falls smack dab in the middle. The day that you've allowed us to come to you, to just ask and plead for forgiveness and a cleansing. We do thank you. Prepare us for Sukkot as we walk into that next week. Prepare our hearts and our minds so that we would do things that honor and glorify you. In Yahshua's name we do pray. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
This song is a simple song, and we're not going to do it. We can try to do it in the Hebrew. How great is our Yah, but we start off by just saying it beautiful, and we'll sing different words that really exemplifies who Yah is. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh yes, you're beautiful, 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 beautiful. Oh yeah, you're beautiful, powerful, 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 powerful. Oh yeah, you're powerful, glorious, glorious, glorious. glorious. Oh yeah, you're glorious. Beautiful. 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 Oh yeah, you're beautiful. Magnificent. 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 Oh you're magnificent. Beautiful. 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 Oh yeah, you're beautiful. What is a word that y'all would have? Just throw it out there and let's sing it. Anybody? What has y'all been to you? Marvelous. Marvelous. Oh yeah, you're marvelous. Let's sing that again. Marvelous. 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 Oh yeah, you're marvelous. One more time. Marvelous. 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 Oh yeah, you're marvelous. Anyone else have another word? Gracious. 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 Oh yeah, you're gracious. Again, gracious. 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 Oh yeah, you're gracious. One more time. Gracious. 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 Oh yeah, you're gracious. Anybody have another one? Healer. Sorry, we'll come back to that. Healer. Healer. Oh, you're healer. 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 Oh, you're a healer. One more time, healer. 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 Oh, you're a healer. What you got here? I know you have words. Gracious. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh yeah, you're beautiful. Hallelujah. 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 Keep saying hallelujah. Hallelujah. God, we thank you. Hallelujah. You're worthy. Hallelujah. We lift you up. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We thank you for this time. Hallelujah. We thank you for Sukkot that's coming up. Hallelujah. We thank you for atonement. We thank you for your perfect blood. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We thank you for your son. Hallelujah. Yahushua. Hallelujah. 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 One more time. Hallelujah. This next part goes, how great are ya? Sing with me, how great is our Yah. And all we sing, how great
is our Yah.
How great is our Yah?
How great
Is our Yah? Sing with me, how great is our Yah? And all will see how great is our Yah. We're gonna sing in Hebrew. I know you all don't know it. That's okay. Just kind of come along with it. Gadol Elohai Shivki Gadol Elohai Holikad Holikad Yireh Ki Gadol Elohai Jehovah Jireh. What's that mean? Jireh, my provider. Y'all know the song. So when we say Yisra'el, we're saying provider. Here we go. Elohai, Shirukire, my bad. Elohai, Holy Kadire, Elohai. Let's sing that a few more times. Elohai, Shirukire, Elohai, Holy Kadire, Elohai. In that you hear Echad, right? What does that mean? Echad. What's that one? He is one. Right, alright. How great. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. Y'all will sing how great is our Yah. Name above all names. Name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. And my heart will sing how great is our Yah. Above all names, you are worthy of all praise, and my heart will sing how great is our Yah. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Oh yeah, you're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh yeah, you're beautiful. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So, Day of Atonement. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
How's Israel doing out there? How are you doing with afflicting your soul? Because the scripture says for us to afflict our soul. How are we doing? How's that working out for you? Is it working out for the plus? Are you feeling any affliction? We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Before we do that, we're going to sing our song.
Shema.
Shema.
Can we say shalom to Kenny and see him online? Shalom, brother.
Shalom, Kenny. Shalom, Kenny.
Can we get a clap going? Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Shema. Shema Yisra'el. Yahuwah Eloheinu. Yahuwah Ehad. that leading, Christina? Thank you. Shema Yisra'el, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah Echad. Shema. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah Echad. Call and response. Shema Israel, Shema Israel, Shema Israel, yeah. All right, one more time. Shema Israel, Shema Israel, Shema Israel. Let's go to the next level. All right. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah. All right, we can do it next time. Not bad. One more time up high. Give it to the Lord. Here we go. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah. This one's the one that can go up that high. All right, let's go back down. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah Echad. One more time. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Every time it's different.
Awesome.
Every time.
Every time. You did good.
So, if you have watched any of our videos, any of our messages, midweek I try to, as frequent as I can in the midst of my work schedule, put out a light Hebrew Israelite moment. And it's something not too heavy, not too long, not too deep, but I do that when I find the Spirit, the Ruach moving in me. You've listened to my teachings, and you've listened to seen our gatherings, and never, I don't think ever, have you seen me wearing a suit. So I'm wearing a suit today. Why is Elder Yechezk'el ben Israel wearing a suit? I had an answer for that. Okay. Ezekiel, which is Yechezk'el, Yechezk'el, was giving a word to Yah. He was actually asked to demonstrate, carry about certain things that by watching him, he became a sign. And so just watching Ezekiel, it was a sign. People were like, this guy's digging a hole in the wall. What is that all about? This guy's carrying something on his back. What is he doing? This guy is laying down. This guy's not mourning when his wife died. What is all these signs were done physically by Ezekiel, Yechezk'el. So as I looked at the name, as I looked at what it meant, and I looked at his demeanor, that's what carried me to carry the name Ezekiel or Yechezk'el, because the name itself means Yah strengthens. And I personally, need Yah to strengthen me. As I carry my way walking through this journey, I need the strength of Yah. If I don't have the strength of Yah, I will evaporate. There will be less of me and more of him, and it's not a pretty sight.
More of you.
So,
More of you.
more of me and less of him. That's not a pretty sight. So I strive to see, or for people to see more of Yah in me and less of me in me when they look at me. All right? So therefore, I wear a suit today as a sign, because something that we're going to talk about today represents the way I'm dressed. As we talk about the Day of Atonement, I want to talk about how it's been twisted. So, when I was a child, take you back for a minute. When I was a child, we had TVs. We had one room that was called the TV room. You would walk through this room to the bedrooms. But certain nights, certain things came on, and everybody wanted to see the TV. And so everybody came and watched the TV. Believe it or not, when I was real young, we had a black and white TV. So this is pre-color TV, pre-cable, pre-internet.
Yep.
The only thing we had was 6, 10, and on a good day, you could get 48 or 29. When the storms winds blew, it would knock our antenna out of alignment. We couldn't go up immediately. Now, I'm not talking about inside the antennas. I'm talking about the antenna that was mounted on the top of the roof. We had to wait until the storm was over, to a good day, and someone to climb up and would make adjustments on the antenna so that it was aligned, so that we could see the TV that we were looking at. Well, I'm going somewhere with this. There is a time to climb up on the roof, make the adjustment, and align the TV, or to align yourself. That's what this atonement is. It's a time for us to say, okay, I got to, and now you couldn't do it by yourself. It took somebody changing it, moving it, and someone down on the bottom said, yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Windows up, you're yelling up and down the roof and out the window so that you made sure that everything lined up and you could see the picture clearly. Later, things changed, and we were able to get a color TV. And we had little rabbit ears. And you could move those rabbit ears. Now, it was a little more flexible. You didn't have someone on the roof because you could just go to the TV and make the adjustment. But you still weren't able to do this by yourself, because if you're adjusting the TV, you couldn't see the TV. Yep. So somebody else was saying, move it to the right, move it to the left. Right?
One leg up.
And you let go, and sometimes the picture would just zone out, or it would buzz out. And they'll be like, no, you stay there and hold that for a minute. So literally there was somebody holding on to the antenna a certain way just to get a good reception so everyone else could see the TV. We've evolved.
Yeah.
Now we have cable, right? Direct TV. We've gotten all types of things. Now we have, I walked to the grocery store yesterday, and the little baby was in a car. And the mother was pregnant and was finding groceries to put into the shopping cart. And the baby, no more than 2, had a cell phone in his hand, and I looked over to see what he was doing. He was looking at cartoons on the cell phone. I'm like, this is incredible that we've gone from someone climbing on the roof to get reception to a little baby can actually look in vivid color at a TV screen in the middle of a movie, in the middle of a shopping, while his mother is shopping. Incredible. So, we're going to go into the text. And I just want to look at a few areas, and then we want to dive into what I think is the meat of the subject. So, someone find Leviticus 23. And let's read about the Feast of Atonement. What does Yah say we're supposed to do? How are we supposed to carry ourselves? What is this whole thing of the Feast of Atonement? Start at verse 14, 23, Exodus 23 and verse 14.
Leviticus.
We're going to stay in Leviticus.
No, I'm in the wrong.
Yeah, Leviticus 23, you said.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's all, yeah. It's all good no matter where you find yourself, right? But I want you in Exodus right now.
Just get found. Exodus 23.
Yes. And then we'll go back to Leviticus. We'll go to Leviticus. But let's start with Exodus.
Exodus what?
23,
Verse.
14. Okay.
Anybody?
Where we start?
23:14.
14?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is from the Sefer.
Okay.
And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched grain, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that you have brought an offering unto your Elohim. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Shabbat, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Shabbaths, 7 Shabbats shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Shabbat shall ye number 50 days, and you shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahweh.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry, am I in the wrong one?
It might be, because I don't see that.
Leviticus 23:14?
Exodus, sorry.
Oh,
Exodus
and
23.
that would be it.
Save that.
Apologies, YouTube.
No, save that because we got to go. That's our next verse, okay?
Sorry, YouTube audience. Sorry, Elder.
I was like,
I'm confident.
Everybody's like, yeah. I was reading
I
it
know.
because I was going to
the
23.
Sefer.
Huh?
I thought it was because it was the Sefer that I was like.
No.
I said, wait, I the supper too. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you were in the Sefer.
And I'm looking, I'm like, we're not missing.
Charge it to my head, not my heart.
All right. Exodus 23:14. Right? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
We're all on one accord.
Exodus 23:14.
Okay, here we go. Take 3.
Oh, that would be me. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
3 times you shall keep a feast unto me in the year. You shall guard the feast of matzah. You shall eat matzah 7 days as I commanded you, in the time appointed in the month of Aviv. For in it you came out of Mitzrayim, and none shall appear before me empty. The feasts of Katsir, the harvest, the first fruits of your labor, which you have sown in the field, and the feast of Asif, Asif, which is in the end of the year, when you have gathered your labors out of the field. 3 times in a year shall all your males shall appear before Adonai Yahuwah. You shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice with chametz, that would be leavened bread. Neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning. The first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring into the house of Yahweh Eloheka. You shall not see the kid in his mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before you to guard you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if you shall indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto your enemies, and an adversary unto your adversaries. For my angel shall go before you, and bring you in unto the Amorim, the Amorites, and the Shittim, which is the Hittites, Kittim, and the Perizim, and the Canaanites, and the Kivim, the Hittites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Verse 24, you shall not bow down to their Elohim, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but you shall utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. And you shall serve Yahweh Elohechem, and he shall bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of you. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in your land. The number of your days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before you, and will destroy all the people to whom you shall come. And I will make all your enemies turn their backs unto you. And I will send hornets before you, which shall drive out the Hivi and the Kenai, and the Hittite from before you. I will not drive them out from before you in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against you. What planet? By little and little I will drive them out from before you until you be increased and inherit the land. And I will set your bounds from the Red Sea, even unto the sea of the Palestine, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and you shall drive them out before you. You shall cut no covenant with them, nor with their Elohim. They shall not dwell in your land, lest they make you sin against me. For if you serve their Elohim, it will surely be a snare unto you. Good night.
You say good night? That's a good day. So here we see just one of the, because these things repeat over and over again, where Yah talks about or keeping the feast days. And in this particular case, he tells you, he gives you a promise. It's sort of like reminding me of a prenuptial agreement. Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you do this and I'll do this. Right? As long as you do this, you got this. I'll take care of you, I'll drive out the enemies, I'll make your enemies turn from you, and you will seek the reward. Your children will be blessed, you'll have a nice old age, everything's gonna be just good for you. You know, with the phrase we hear, blessed in the field, blessed in the everywhere else, right? So let's go to Leviticus. So happens to be in the same chapter. Let's get that one down.
Verse.
Vayikra.
$15. We need to go before that?
That's the Feast of Weeks, and then it goes down to the trumpets and atonement. Is that 26?
Yes.
So you want to read through all of them?
What's that?
I said that's the Feast of Weeks, and then trumpets is like 23, and then 26
Yes.
is atonement.
Yeah, well, I see where I want to get started. Let's get started. Let's get started at, let's do 13. Start at 13, because 13 you will see a parallel with what we just read. And then it's going to take us right into atonement.
Leviticus or Vayikra 23, starting at verse 13. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread nor parched grain nor green ears unto the selfsame day that you have brought an offering unto your Elohim. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Then ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Shabbat, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Shabbats shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Shabbat shall ye number 50 days.
Right.
And you shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahweh. You shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto Yahweh. And you shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto Yahweh with their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto Yahweh. Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before Yahweh with the 2 lambs. They shall be holy to Yahweh for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be a holy assembly unto you. You shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not make clean riddance of the corners of your field when you reap, neither shall you gather any gleaning of your harvest. You shall leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am Yahweh Eloheka. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Yisra'el, saying, In the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, ye shall have a Shabbat, a memorial of the blowing of shofar, a holy assembly.
Okay, so we went through that just this week past. We had the shofar, the blowing of the shofar, right?
Yes.
Okay? But I wanted to stop you for a minute because this is a key point here in verse 22. So read 22 again, and then we'll pick back up where we were.
And when you reap the harvest of your
Reap the
land,
harvest of your land.
you shall not make clean riddance of the corners of your field when you reap, neither shall you gather any gleaning of your harvest. You shall gather them, you shall leave them unto the poor and to the stranger.
So the stranger and the poor have your leftovers, or he's leaving it and giving an opportunity for the poor. Yah has always been concerned about the poor and the ones that we were, the strangers, the ones that we would consider less than us, right? Because we want to put ourselves on a high horse. He's always considering those that are of a low estate.
If someone
Less
passing
fortunate.
through, visiting.
Right. Okay, so now let's, verse 25.
So, the blowing of the shofar, holy assembly. Verse 25. You shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Also on the 10th day of the 7th month is Yom Kippur. It shall be a holy assembly unto you, and you shall afflict your souls.
Okay, here's the key to this feast day. Afflict your souls. And we're going to talk about this word, the word afflict. Anha is the word. Anha is it means to humble yourself. Okay, continue.
And offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, and ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is Yom Kippur, to make an atonement for you before Yahweh Eloheka. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that does any work on that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Shabbat of rest, and you shall afflict your souls. In the 9th day of the month at evening, from your evening unto evening shall you celebrate your Shabbat. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Yisra'el, saying, The 15th day of the 7th month shall be a feast of Sukkot for 7 days unto Yahweh. On the first day shall be a holy assembly. You shall do no servile work therein. 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And on the 8th day shall be a holy assembly unto you. And you shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. It is a solemn assembly, and you shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of Yahweh, which you shall proclaim to be holy assemblies, to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, a burnt offering, and a meat offering, a sacrifice, and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Because the Shabbat of Yahweh, and beside the Shabbats of Yahweh, and besides your gifts, and besides all your vows, and beside all your freewill offerings, which you give unto Yahweh. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, which you have gathered the fruit of the land, you shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days. And on the first day shall be a Shabbat, and on the 8th day shall be a Shabbat. And you shall take you on the first day of the bough, on the first day of the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and the willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before Yahweh Elohim 7 days. And you shall keep it a feast unto Yahweh 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall dwell in Sukkot 7 days. All that are Yisra'el born shall dwell in Sukkot, that your generations may know that I made the children of Yisra'el to dwell in Sukkot when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahweh Elohim. And Moshe declared unto the children of Yisra'el the feast of Yahweh.
So, how did we get to where we are? I had someone come to my house today that was a quote-unquote Christian, goes to a Baptist church, that when I told her I couldn't stay and hold a long conversation with her because I was preparing for a lesson that I wanted to teach tonight, and she looked at me like, okay, that's fine. I said, you know that today we're getting ready to walk into the Day of Atonement. And she said, what is that? And I was almost in awe of, I don't know if I want to say awe, I was a little bit
Disturbed?
Yeah, I was disturbed that you don't know what the Day of Atonement is. So I said something like, you know what Easter is, right? I don't call it Easter, I call it Resurrection Day. I'm like, okay, you know what that day is, right? You know what Christmas is, right? Yeah, but we know Christmas that's not the day he was born, because you know what Halloween is, right? All these days, but you don't know what the Day of Atonement is. And it's in your book. This is disturbing, so okay. I kind of was taken back by that. And then I went on about my day, doing my thing. I had to run to pick up some supplies. And on the way back, I was on the highway and the light was red, and a postal truck was next to me. You know, if a post officer's truck, the steering wheel is on the right, I'm on the left. So we're real close to each other. His window's open. He doesn't even have a window, actually, right? I opened my window up. It's a black guy. I was like, hey, man, how you doing? He said, I'm doing great. I said, me too, that's good. I said, I'm holding a conversation while the light's red. You know that today, when the sun goes down, we go into the Day of Atonement. He's like, oh, no, I didn't know that. This is disturbing. These are two black people that I know, that I've seen today. They have no idea what this day is. Why has this day been hijacked, kidnapped, and snatched from us, and the only people that think they can worship it or do anything with it would be the Jewish people? Very few of us as Americans even know what the day is.
Right.
We're supposed to be teaching and preaching the kingdom. And if we're not teaching and preaching the kingdom, how can we teach and preach the king? Because it's supposed to be all aligning with the kingdom. Because he's going to come down and establish a new kingdom. That's what we're supposed to be teaching.
Right.
And if you're not teaching the kingdom, how do you teach the king? How do you teach the king without teaching the kingdom? There's something wrong here because you're missing the mark. Yeah. And now the Astronoskis and everyone that does worship on the Day of Atonement, they do it all jacked up, backwards, crooked, twisted, anyway, but the right way. I've heard people get online and start telling everybody on how to fast. Don't drink anything, don't eat anything, spend the whole day working on your fast when this has nothing to do with the fast. Never. I did my investigating before I brought this to you. Never has he ever told us to fast on the Day of Atonement. So why do we think that it's the day of fasting? It's just like everything else. Why do we worship on Sunday? Because that's what we've been told. Why do we fast, the ones that even know anything about atonement? Why do we fast on atonement? Because that's what we've been told. But when you do the script, when you search it out, it has nothing to do with fasting. And now we've gotten to a point that we're like, okay, I called us to fast. We're fasting. We're still fasting.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But that is not the key point of atonement. The fasting is a way to help you, hopefully strengthen you, so that you can search yourself out. Because we do need to still search ourselves out.
Right.
You can't do this by yourself. It's like adjusting the TV. You can't do it by yourself. Somebody was climbing up on the roof and changing it. Somebody was wiggling the antennas. You can't do this by yourself. But the only way you can do it sometimes is going to take fasting and praying so that you get the strength to come through what you're going through. I know that I'm going through something. I don't know about you, but I'm going through stuff and I need help. Fasting is like push-ups. Fasting is like exercise. Exercise is painful, but there's gain.
Right.
You get gain because when you do enough push-ups, your chest gets bigger. You get more strength. You do enough sit-ups, your stomach goes down. You gain more muscle strength.
Right.
You run and you sweat, you gain more endurance. You fast, you get stronger, and sometimes you can cast out demons. Because Yeshua said some things are only done by fasting and praying. So there's a need for it, but that's not atonement. if you look at the word atonement, atonement is A-N-A-H, Anna, right? It means to come under or to allow something else to control you or be above you. So when Moses came to Pharaoh and said, let my people go, he said, basically, you need to humble yourself under Yah. He didn't do it. So he was condemned. Let's look at, I want to take you two places real quick. Let's go to Isaiah 58. Because even in Yeshua's time, they were so twisted. And this is going to give you, like, we're skipping, you take a stone and you throw it across the lake and you see it making its way across. So we just skipped from Exodus and Leviticus, and we're going to touch down in Isaiah, and then we're going to touch down and hear what the king has to say about it. 58. Cry loud and spare not. Somebody read. Like a trumpet or a shofar.
Cry loud, spare not, lift up your voice like a shofar, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Yom Kippur their sin. That's everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways. As a nation, they did not righteousness, and for so not the ordinance of their Elohim. They ask of me an ordinance of justice. They take delight in appropriating to Elohim. Wherefore have we fast, said they, and you see not. Therefore have we afflicted our soul, and you take no knowledge. Behold, in the day of your fast, ye find pleasure and exalt all your labors. Behold, ye fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the first of wickedness, and ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high. It is such a feast that I have chose, a day for a man to afflict his soul. It is to bow down his head as a bulrush, okay, and to spread the sackcloth and ash under him. Will you call this a fast and a accepted day to Yeshua? It is not a fast that I have chosen to loosen the bond of the wickedness, to undo the heavy burden, and to let the oppressor go free, and that ye break every yoke.
Okay, so here was a group of people that were claiming to be fasting, had a great delight in coming to God, worshiping, having a great worship service, and talking about how great their fast was. Like, I eat all day. And boasting about it. And then debating about it. Do we hear anybody debating on fasting today? It's like every day on Day of Atonement. We're setting up a debate. How much should I fast? Can I eat walnuts? Can I drink water? Can I drink soda? Can I eat just fast half day? All these debates on fasting. He's like, this is not the fast that I called you to. I called you to loose the bondage, release the captivity. The people that are out in the street that don't know Yah, this is the fast. I'm asking you to try to deliver them, help to deliver them, lead them back to me. Our fast is not to wear fancy clothes and put on a show. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. All right? Read through the text. They were so braggadocious that they weren't humbling themselves. They were not afflicting themselves. They were not bringing the homeless into their house. I remember bringing a homeless person to church, and the church looked at me like, why are you bringing these dirty people into our gathering? That was a church. I was like, really? I was trying to be Christian. All right. Now, there's much more in this text, but I'll have a limited amount of time. If you guys don't want to stay here and listen to me forever, right? Read through the text. You're going to find these people are doing anything but what pleases Yah. And then they're expecting a revelation, or they're expecting deliverance, or they're expecting a blessing. And I keep telling you, if you don't do right, you can't expect right. You can't expect to be blessed when you're living foul. I remember not too long ago that people, even in this walk, because things didn't happen the way they wanted it to happen, they would start saying stuff to each other. Yeah, well, him. And you see the attitude. I'm like, no, you need to afflict yourself, because that attitude can't walk in the kingdom.
Right.
So when you see it, if you were involved in it and you were it, this is a good time to get out of it. Because you need to look at yourself. I'll take you back. 2 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 5, 13 or 15, last chapter, right?
All right.
Let a man examine himself and see if he's in the faith.
Right.
Great chapter to read. Let's go to Matthew's. Because I've been a nice guy. I've been being nice about this.
Matthew what?
23.
What verse?
We'll start at verse 1.
Then spoke Yahusha.
Yes.
Then spoke Yahusha to the multitude and to his Talmudim, saying, the scribes and the Parashim sit in Moshe's seat.
Okay, so the scribes and the Pharisees, they sitting up in the high seat. Go ahead.
All therefore, whatsoever he bids you guard, that diligently guard and do. But do not ye after their forms and traditions, for they say and do not. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their
When you're sitting in the high seat, in the pulpit, You're asking everybody else to do all your work because you're not lifting up anything, right? Because you're too good for that. He said, do what they say, but not what they do. Continue. Verse, where we at?
That we ended at 4.
Okay.
But they themselves will not move them with one of their
They won't
fingers.
lift their fingers.
But all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the seats of their garments.
Okay, so here they go. They enlarge their seats. They put on their fancy clothes. Come on, keep reading. I'm going to be a scribe and Pharisee for you for a minute.
And say it ain't so. And love the uppermost rooms at feasts.
Love the most upper room. Yeah.
And
look sharp.
and the chief seats in the synagogue.
I'm sitting in the chief seat. No, you want to give me a bottle of water?
Oh,
You want, no.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
And greetings in the market.
I told you I'm gonna be Ezekiel, right? I'm gonna be Yechezk'el for you for a minute. All right, go ahead.
And to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi.
Call me. What do you call me? Rabbi.
Rabbi.
Yeah,
Rabbi,
I like
Rabbi.
that. That made me feel good. Rabbi. I feel real good there. Rabbi.
Rabbi.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Read.
But be not ye called Rabbi.
Oh.
For one is your Rabbi, even Mashiach.
Oh, who's saying this? So this is a typo?
No.
This is from the king, right? This is straight out of the mouth of the king.
Yeah, verse 1 it says it's Yehusha.
Yeah, that's what it said.
All right.
All right. Let me hide my ZC.
But be ye not called Rabbi, for one is your Rabbi, even Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
And all ye are brethren, and call no man your father upon the earth. For one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called teachers, for one is your Rabbi, even Mashiach.
Oh man, I
But
can't
he
be
but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
Oh,
And
wow.
whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and parashim, hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of Yahweh against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer
I mean, they're not
ye
going
them.
in either?
Apparently not. Neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in.
Oh, wow.
Woe unto you, scribes and parashim, hypocrites, for ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and parashim, hypocrites, for ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more of the child of Gehenna than yourselves.
The child of the devil.
Woe unto you, you blind guides,
I
Which say-
thought this was sweet Jesus.
Going in.
you know, and ye in the Old English is actually, it's not formal, it's informal, so it's like he's saying y'all.
Y'all.
Woe unto you, y'all blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifies the gold? And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever swears by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifies the gift? Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar, swears by it and by all things thereon. And whoso shall swear by the temple, swears by it and by him that dwells therein. And he that shall swear by heaven, swears by the throne of Yahweh and by him that sits thereon. Woe unto you, scribes and parashim, hypocrites! For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the Torah, judgment, mercy, and belief. These ought ye to have done. and not to leave the other undone.
What was that? Read that again. What verse is that?
Verse 23.
23, okay.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye pay tithes of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the Torah, judgment, mercy, and belief.
Mercy and faith or belief.
These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone.
So, if you read through this text, we've got to go, or our time is expired, right? But if you read through the text, I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 times where he just downright calls him a hypocrite. This is the king talking. And if you continue reading, you're going to find something really intense. He says, I came to you, I sent to you the prophets and the priests, and will continue to send them to you. And what did you do to them? You killed them. This is talking to us. This is not talking to any old body out in the street. He's talking to us. He says, I'm sending to you wise men and prophets to talk to you, to persuade you. And somewhere you're going to find in there that they're supposed to preach the kingdom. And because they were not doing what they were supposed to do, I got distracted for a minute. They were not being taught appropriately by the people that should have been teaching. So, our goal for the Day of Atonement is that we examine ourselves, that we make sure that we are in the faith, that we're not focusing on fasting as much as what's going on in the heart, in our mindset, that we are turning our hearts and our minds back to Yah. So I ask you this, will you please read Matthew 23 over and over again. Read Isaiah 58 over and over again as we walk closer to Sukkot, so we can spend those 8 days in fellowship with Yah, serving Him, loving up on Him, because He wants to love up on you. Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah.